Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show live from the Atzenhofer studio. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining us on a sunnier morning than it was yesterday. We're glad you're here. Ash, Brent, Commander.
No rain in the forecast. Welcome into the Atzenhofer studio, where for over 100 years, Atzenhofer has been a South Texas tradition. They are the studio sponsor. Atzenhofer, we joke that if you go to the Goliad Rodeo, and they say in the military, if it moves, salute it. If it doesn't, paint it. And the Atzenhofer logo is everywhere. I once saw a small child with an Atzenhofer flag waving on its buttocks.
In the rodeo, they say if it moves, saddle it. If it doesn't, shoot it.
Right. There you go. Atzenhofer helping Victorians get around for like in their 12th, 10th, 11th decade.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
100 years.
Absolutely. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great, that's some Canadian math. Brought to you by the great folks at
Accurate.
A.T. Dearland Feed.
Better than what he just did.
Everything you need. You guys gonna let me get through this? Y'all just gonna have why don't you kill your mics and have a side conversation? Daddy will take care of the show. Oh, folks. A.T. Dearland Feed for everything you need. 65 degrees under sunny skies, heading to a high today of 89. That means it'll be 111 by lunchtime.
Go get the bifin.
No, I joke. It's just good to have Cody back in studio, but we've got to get – comedy is about timing. It's more about timing than content. Nobody was better when a bit bombed than
the Germans.
Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was the absolute master. His joke would bomb. He knew in his monologue, this is going to be a joke, but I'll tell the joke, and the way I respond to the crowd is what will make the situation funny. People loved to see Carson bomb, and as a result, we're big with the over 50 crowd as they like to tune in and watch us bomb.
Stephanie Coney, Scott Tomko, Daniel Wade White on the podium this morning. Good morning, folks. Glad you're all here, whether you're joining us on Magic, the Mothership,
Kurtz,
on Facebook, on YouTube, on the No Bull Network, and
Marvin Mickish, Greg Garcia.
9 stations that comprise the No Bull Network. We're glad you're all here. Good group of folks checking in this morning.
Rena Shear. Awesome. A quick public service announcement. Yeah. The services for longtime listener,
good friend,
Bob Constantine. Make a note. We're not going to dwell on this. Next Thursday, a week from today, June the 4th, at Parkway Church on 4800 block of John Stockbauer at 11 a.m. Next Thursday, June 4th, 11 a.m. Memorial service for Bob Constantine. It will be brief. There will be an opportunity to visit and have some food afterwards at Parkway Church, 4800 block of John Stockbauer.
I noticed you told people to take notes when Lisa Poole popped in.
Yes. Lisa Poole will be feverishly taking notes about Bob Constantine's memorial service. There's B.J. Nelson, Buddy Stefanoa, our own Junior Samples, Mark Zepeda, Andrew Alvarez.
Junior says the roast of Kevin Hart on Netflix bombed. It really did. And I think part of it was they had Kevin Hart trying to act like he was mad at some of the things, and that was dumb.
I've never seen anybody more overexposed since Brent Musburger in the 80s. CBS had him doing everything from NFL games to mud wrestling contests. He was like Elvis. They just ran him out anywhere for a buck.
Kevin Hart made fun of that on the roast. There were only, I think, there were only like 2 or 3 of the roasters that were any good, and
Shane Gillis wasn't good.
Yeah, he was kind of he was the host. He roasted him a little bit. The Cheryl Underwood was pretty funny actually, and I had no idea who she was. And the J guy that had the red hair, dyed red hair, didn't know who he was. He was pretty funny. And then I think the second guy up, Zaim or something like that, didn't know who he was. He was pretty funny. The rest of them, nah. And it was a bunch of no names on the dais, which is, you kind of don't want that.
No Tom Brady, no Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady made the first appearance and mispronounced dais.
What do you call it? Diaz?
Something like that.
Tom Brady.
But it was a Michigan.
Phi Beta Kappa.
It was a Michigan, education. So we'll give him that.
Tom Brady.
But
see the GOAT? He's the best ever.
Yeah, he did reference to 7 Super Bowls.
Hard to argue. Of course he did. I saw a deal the other day said LeBron James, who's now the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, has honestly wants like a patch on his jersey denoting that he's the guy. And the person talking about it said, should he also put on there that he's missed more field goals than anybody ever, and that he's missed more, whatever, free throws than anybody ever?
Oh, come on, more than Shaq?
Yeah. Well, he's played 47 seasons.
No, he probably has. I think the best one was the Babylon Bee. LeBron confused by hockey players who get back up after being knocked down.
I saw a second one on Babylon Bee yesterday. It was funny. Said family members torn between allowing father on hospice to pass or running him for the Senate.
Speaking of which, is there any proof and a few things with the Senate elections and what happened with Bill Cassidy and John Cornyn, and I've heard a lot of pundits roll out the old 80% of my friend is not 20% of my enemy. That was a saying I think that Ronald Reagan made famous back in the 80s, showing that he could reach out and still find some common ground enough with somebody who doesn't always agree with them. I don't think that's the case with Donald Trump. No. If you don't agree with him 100% of the time, you are his enemy, as we showed with Tom Massey, who I think 92% of the time voted with Republicans and Trump, but didn't the other 8. And
you can be against him the other 8, right? But you can't be so adamantly vocal about it. You can't be Chip Roy, who probably 95% of the time was in lockstep with your idea of MAGA. But the rest of the time, he was voting to impeach the president, and Trump did not forget it.
But the tantrums being thrown right now by the senators, and I haven't heard John Cornyn come out and say anything yet, and it could be coming. But Tom Tillis, with some words in an interview, basically saying that everybody got it wrong. Bill Cassidy's throwing temper tantrums. He's now not going to vote along, for the action in Iran.
See, that's not what the people want. The people in Louisiana, is it Louisiana? Cassidy. Yeah. They threw him out because they didn't approve of the way he was responding to the president. So now he's saying, well, for the next X number of months, till next January, 7 months, 6 months, I'm going to try to be a fly in the ointment. That is not what his constituents want. They're even trying to get somebody more conservative than him in there.
And I think, Donald Trump is trying to get Republicans all to vote for the agenda, much like the Democrats do. Like it or hate it. I think it's, is it necessary? Maybe. I don't know how sustainable it is, to be honest. I don't know if whoever's next up in 28, I don't know, will be able to take that same sort of influence into 28 and beyond. I think, and I don't know that John Cornyn will run again in 28, but I could see a guy like Bill Cassidy trying to run again because he's pissed off.
I think he's damaged goods.
And Tom Tillis decided not to run because he knew he was going to get primaried, so he bailed.
But when I say to you, George Washington, Abe Lincoln, FDR, Ronald Reagan, and I throw Donald Trump into that mix, I think I'm absolutely correct. I'm not suggesting that Donald Trump is the same level of statesman as, say, Teddy Roosevelt or Abraham Lincoln.
Well, Roosevelt kind of went his own way when he realized that the Republican Party wasn't all in line with the way his progressive beliefs, and he formed his own. He formed the Progressive Party.
There's never been a more influential president globally than Donald Trump. I don't understand it.
Margaret Thatcher, maybe. Well, but she wasn't a president. But she was.
Nor was she American. But
no.
I see where you're. Well, Adolf Hitler. I mean, he had some good ideas.
No, but I think Thatcher, in our lifetime, Thatcher might have had as much, maybe as close to the influence.
Here's why
globally.
I say no. She had the influence globally because she had Ronald Reagan attached to her hip. If Margaret Thatcher spoke, it was understood that it was with the backing, maybe oftentimes at the direction of Ronald Reagan in the United States. The biggest myth perpetrated upon the world is that England is powerful.
Well, it still was back in the 80s. Yeah. It was the U.S. and England. Russia was the Soviet Union was the other superpower, but England still basically spoke for most of Europe because the EU didn't exist, and the Commonwealth was still pretty strong, as countries like Canada hadn't completely broken away yet from the crown.
Right. Canada, of course, potentially the 51st state.
Scott Tomko asks, is there a way to have government without politicians? They're exhausting. And I think that's what...
yeah. Well, I think that's called a dictatorship, right? Yeah. You can have government without politicians. You just can't have a constitutional republic without politicians. Good morning, Jeff Meyer.
But I think what you're seeing right now happen in the fallout of this is the petulant child and children that are in the Senate were more worried about their lifestyles and their
100%.
Power being eroded and going away and their supposed influence going away than actually doing the work of the American people. That's where the Senate is. Those 100 people, for the most part, have gotten too big for their britches. Tom Tillis quits. Bill Cassidy, John Cornyn get knocked down a few pegs, not just one. And Bill Cassidy is storming around like a spoiled child who just had his allowance taken away from him and stuck in his room for the weekend. And Cornyn so far has been gracious, but
Cornyn's trying to find his way, right?
They're showing you who they are. They're showing you who they are right now.
But Bill Cassidy, like, nobody knew who that guy was until he ran afoul of the Donald. Had you ever heard of him?
No.
I'd never heard of him. We study politics every day. And you look back, the what's his name? His last name is Jaye. Anyway, I was listening to him this morning, and he just echoed what we said the other day. He goes, be honest, what has John Cornyn ever done? I had a friend mention to me, well, he's raised more money than anybody in the Senate. And I thought, well, that's great. That's not his job. His job is to vote on legislation. And he said, au contraire, his job is to raise money. That's important. I'll contend that if either one of us were United States senators, we could raise money too. But I look at him and say, John Cornyn spent somewhere between, it's been agreed upon, 90 low end and $150 million, with the bulk of it being spent during the runoff to lose horribly to Ken Paxton. And it's always this way. Here's an example. They gave us Donald Trump. By any accord, a flawed vessel. I mean, Donald Trump is nobody's saint. He's not necessarily the nicest or the kindest guy. And he's very impulsive. He's very outspoken. And yet, your only option was Cam the Slam. Nobody wanted that idiot to be our president. So now you've got Ken Paxton. Here comes Ken Paxton. We've all agreed that he was good for the state of Texas as AG, but there's a lot of baggage. I mean, he looks like Zsa Zsa Gabor showing up at the Ritz-Carlton. There are people behind him toting the bags. But your option is James Talafrico?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to vote for cisgender Jimmy. That guy's out. Talks about being a minister, talks about God being non-binary. The guy's an idiot.
I mean, how do you go from Beto to Talafrico? I mean,
they're trying to throw, like you said yesterday, throw it on the wall, see what sticks. Let's go extreme left.
Because we know extreme left will never get elected in Texas. But it's almost a litmus test for
litmus.
Yeah, for the rest of the country.
Is there an H in there anywhere? Maybe in Canada.
So. Litmus.
It's a lisp test.
Yeah.
Take that weight off your tongue. Talk to me.
I'm trying. But it's almost like they're trying to see what can stick. Not in Texas, because I don't think Texas will let it stick. But to see what can,
not going to win.
But to see what can sort of gain traction, how far left they can push it, so that then they can find those candidates in the Seattle, in New York, in California, and go that way.
They made a good point that Talarico is so extreme that there really is no chance that he wins in Texas. But the problem, I think, one of the challenges, I mean, who made the decision that a rep like Michael Cloud has to be reelected every 2 years and a senator gets 6?
Yeah.
6 years? I mean, more time than the president? Why does this make sense to anybody? Seriously, I mean.
I think it made good sense on paper at the time. But what it's turned into with Congress, with our House of Representatives, is they get stuff done for a year. And this isn't a slam on Michael Cloud, because I think he actually is one of the few. Then they campaign for a year.
Yeah.
As re-election looms, and nothing typically gets done in one of those 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is.
There's Heather Stewart checking in.
And then you've got Cornyn, who's been there since, for 20 some odd years.
Since 2002, yeah. I think, as senator. 24 years.
And ironically, he was Attorney General of Texas before he ended up becoming our senator. So
did he go straight to the Senate?
I think so, yeah. And before that, I think he was on the Texas Supreme Court and one of the judicial circuits here.
He was clearly a smart guy. There was a period of time where he was a media darling. He was tall, good looking. He was pure Texan, but he missed his window to run for president.
Well, and he only came, and I mean, judging by his pasty whiteness, he only comes back to Texas when it's time to.
Yeah. Monty Howard, resident historian.
Point.
Senators were originally selected by state legislatures, not popular vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Folks, Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's your go-to tow-to. Let Allen's help you get out of the ditch, out of the street, out of trouble. They'll tow you anywhere. Give Allen's Wrecker Service a call, 578-6300. Palace Bingo. We're about to be joined by Ron Koshin
from Warriors Weekend.
One of the benefactors of Palace Bingo, supporting 7 local charities. Your initiation money, your fee to play bingo, stays in the community. Where else can you go and have legalized gambling? Chesnick Furniture. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Let Chesnick show you why you just always do better at Chesnick. Go see Bobby Leon and his team. They will help you enjoy your home more. The chopping block this week, it is Post Wacky Wing Wednesday, Thursday. Get into the chopping block for all your protein. That's the Canadian protein needs. Beef, chicken, fajita meat.
You're trying to stall so I can pull
veggies.
this up, right? As I was busy typing something, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me see if I can find out what the chopping block
And
is.
USA Foundation Repair, they can come out and level your slab, level your sidewalks, seal the cracks. They can put down the toughest nails, polyurethane coat that won't.
Crack stick peeler fade.
There you have it. We're going to be joined by our friend.
Go by and see if they have any of the prime Angus picanha still in stock for just $10.99 a pound. That's a great deal, and that's
$10.99 a pound. It's great with a chimichurri sauce.
slow roasted. Oh,
Absolutely. There's our buddy live looking at his audience, Ron Koshin of Warriors Weekend. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome in.
Good. Appreciate y'all having me.
Well, we're excited to have you because Ash and I each independently attended the last Beach Boys tribute program, and it was phenomenal.
They are phenomenal.
And I just take a second and tell folks about the event, how they can participate, and why they should.
Well, they were so good back in November. I'm not a concert promoter. That's not my bailiwick, but we had a good crowd. But the main thing is everybody just loved it, and they were so good. I've had more than one person tell me they're as good, if not better, than the real Beach Boys. I mean, that sounds like an exaggeration.
I actually agree.
Wow, the real Beach Boys are a lot older.
Yeah, but the harmonies and
right.
the
hips,
being true to the music, I thought they were phenomenal.
Well, they have toured with them. Alan, the main guy, fills in sometimes for them, and if somebody can't make it, and they're really good friends. So that says a lot. But they're just that good. And
opened for him as a kid, if I remember the story.
Say again?
He opened for him as a kid, if I remember the story
he probably
correctly.
did. He probably
His family did, yeah.
Basically said that to a degree they had kind of been endorsed by the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah,
it's like, hey, this is the best tribute band out there.
And the other thing is, I sat down with them. Of course, I was writing them a check, so that makes it.
Y'all were really close friends at that moment.
But they were very, very friendly, very, very personable. They're very easy to work with, and they're just great. I had such a great response, and Bill Posey said best concert ever to come to Victoria, and I think it was. I don't go to a lot of concerts at my age. I just try to wake up in the morning, but they were just that good. I said I got to have them back, and it's hard you got to reconcile when they can do it, what venues available. Well, the community center I was told was booked every Friday and Saturday in the summer, and that's where we were last time. So I got to think, where are we going to go? So long story short, we're going to be in Inez at the community center. And to be honest with you, I'm real excited about it.
It's probably got as many seats as the community center almost. It'd be nice.
It's amazing what the number they'll tell you what they can put in there, how many folks they can put in there.
Melissa Hanson says it was a great night and they were amazing. Heather Stewart adds, we agree that they are as good or better than the original Beach Boys. The show is fantastic. They do kind of get into character. They do. It's a squint test, right? If you just barely squint, you can picture yourself at a Beach Boys concert.
Oh yeah, and Gary Prokop's going to open.
Oh, he's awesome.
Doors are going to open at 5:30. Music will start about 6.
Gary fits in with that little sailor's cap, the captain's cap that he wears.
Yeah,
perfect.
He's like the captain without Tennille.
Yeah, I think Tennille's coming, because she called me this weekend.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we think it's going to be exciting. You can still get a table. My girls are fussing at me. That's enough tables. No, never enough.
Well, you're raising money for a great cause, and tell folks where the proceeds are going.
Proceeds are going to support of Warriors Weekend, 100%. And, we just had our Purple Heart tournament, which you were there.
Yes, sir.
And T-Lot was there. T-Lat,
the lovely and talented. Yes, sir.
T-Lat was there. And I think y'all had a really good time. And it's one of our favorite things. But the big event is going to be this year, November 13th through the 15th. We'll start at the Field of Honor. And by the way, that we had a really, really nice Memorial Day service at the Field of Honor Monday night till the mosquito mosquito bombers flew in.
It was so bad.
And it got
Nothing
bad.
worse than being out there and you can hear the mosquitoes. They're so big, you could hear them screaming, Tora, Tora, Tora.
Well, you hear the head mosquito guy say clear for landing. You know,
they're
trouble.
carrying off little
Well, when
children.
you see the landing lights on the bottom,
Exactly.
they're like drones.
Exactly.
Rena Shear says it was a great show, made you want to get up and dance. Linda Chris says it was a great concert. We loved it. That's why we're going back to this one. Jack Daniels said, somebody help Koshin down the stairs. There you go.
I got it covered,
thank you, Jack.
I got it covered, Jack.
You know, we say, Ron, just tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
I thought you were going to be down here, Jack, at the bottom and catch me.
That's what Junior says. He'll roll out just
He
fine.
would. It's all good until you get to that bottom rung, and then you hit that door that weighs 200 pounds.
Well, you can still get a table, but we're not going to be full, but it's going to be a nice crowd. And our single tickets are $50 a couple, $30 individual. You can go to warriorsweekend.org, click on events. And is that right, Cody?
Yes,
Cody,
sir.
Cody's our new guy.
Brand new webpage, if I'm not mistaken, too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
Looks
doing a great job.
fantastic.
Did a
For
great
$50
job.
a couple, you simply can't have a better time, better date night than
Well,
that.
and you definitely can't drive to Houston for $50 a couple to go to a concert.
Absolutely. And it's good.
You
It's
can't
not-
go to a concert for $50 a couple.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just like that, we raised the prices right here on the show. $75 a couple. No, for $50 a couple, if you don't have any friends, as we know, some of you may want to come for $30 a head.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you, I mentioned it on the show post Purple Heart tournament, but it never, the muster, Colonel Mike does such a great job with that. But the Purple Heart tournament always kind of tugs at my heartstrings because these are the folks that survived battle. Many of their scars are internal. We fished with a super nice lady, Hojo. She was awesome and had a great time with her. She and Dawn really clicked, and now they communicate. They're friends on Facebook and all of that.
And if you look at them, there probably couldn't be two different
Two totally different.
personalities.
Yeah, no, really. Hojo would say, get in the truck, T-Lat. I mean, awesome folks. And I just want to give you the compliment that it was the weather challenged us that we had to move from what makes 5D so good is that outdoor pavilion.
Right.
And we had to move it all inside. Nobody complained. Nobody muttered. Everybody involved with Warriors Weekend pulled together. It was a fantastic event. And there were, I think, 32 Purple Heart recipients there.
Correct.
And they were all glorified. Every one of them felt like they were on top of the planet. And I thought it was just so well done. And it's one of those things that unless you're involved, unless you engage, you don't realize all the greatness that is put on by Warriors Weekend. So thank you for that.
You have to be, like you said, you got to be there to really understand. I listen. Excuse me. Cody does a great job with our new webpage and getting stuff out on the media. And it's a two-edged sword because it's great but I've got all these other Purple Hearts now from all over the country already contacting. When is the next one? Can I come? And listen, it's a tough call, and I'll have to sit down in October and go through all these, what we call DD 214, your military record, and cull some out. And you hate to do that, but it's you have to.
Well, you've always been inclusive. I mean,
Time to start doing the lottery like a draft for them, huh?
Almost, but I'll catch too much flack. We have a few special ones we always have to bring in.
you have to.
Yeah.
There are some characters involved with
Very
that.
much.
Now you can
so.
always bring them back and then lottery the rest of
But they love it. I mean, they love it so much. It still blows me away. This is our 20th year, and I remember the first year just not quite understanding how much they love it. And it's grown on me, of course. And but they just, God, they love it. And I tell the story all the time about a guy named Mark Gonzalez. He's a Purple Heart. This was before the Purple Heart tournament. Sign up from Hawaii. I said, oh my God, I just hate to turn down a Purple Heart recipient. And I called him. I said, Mark, and he was stationed in Hawaii. We have a base there. I mean, a Army base. And he said, I said, you want to come? You want to fly 8 hours to here and take a 3-hour bus trip? You're going to go fishing for about 5 or 6 hours. He said, Ron, it's not about the fishing. Exactly. He got it exactly right. It's not about the fishing. It's not about the Purple Heart tournament, although they love it. It's about being together. It's about being shown the love and the respect and honor that we pour into them. In the fall and November 10th, I have a wall coming. We had the Vietnam Wall here, replica, right?
Yes, sir. It was
And,
awesome.
yeah, it was great. The Vietnam veterans love it. In fact, I'll have breakfast with them in a minute. But I also, this year, we're bringing in Iraq and Afghanistan wall. And I guarantee, and the troops will be here for that. And they come on the 13th. So I guarantee you, every one of them is going to have a friend on that wall, at least one, many. We met a new Purple Heart recipient at the Purple Heart. He has a silver star and 2 Purple Hearts. He's a Marine, but we forgive him for that. But it's old Army stuff. But I mean, he said, Ron, I'll have 25 men. He said, I've lost 25 since we've been back. Some of them over here, you know, the old Vietnam saying, I got killed in Vietnam, but I died at home. And,
Right.
And a lot of them go through that, as y'all know my story about Bradley and all that. And, you know, it's a moving thing, and they just love it so much. And I want to thank all our sponsors, the Shears, everybody like that. I mean, Kodiak Oil and Gas been great with us. Palace Bingo had a little meeting yesterday. Let me just say, it was a very fortuitous meeting. And Palace Bingo has been so great to us and over many years, as have the Shares, and Kodiak's come on in the last few years, and others. I hate to start naming because I'm going to. What about them? I know Hope Cap.
And you know what's great is even including the Shears, who I know have been selfless and awesome and just incredibly generous. They're not doing it for that plug. They're doing it because they care.
Oh no, Rena's there to set up on Friday.
That's right.
The muster.
I've seen it. I have seen it.
Yeah, she's great. And Connie Proka, what I got her and Gary on the phone. They called me Sunday and whatever it was. She said, I called Rena and told her about, do you know about the beach? She said, Connie, I have 2 tables. I mean,
well, you know, I think it's something nobody likes to talk about death and all that, but we're still losing way too many of our veterans to suicide. And I have to believe, and I know you have probably specific stories somewhere, but I have to believe that the love that these veterans are shown when they end up in little old Victoria, Texas, is enough to pull many of them back from the edge and say, I've got a reason to go on.
Well, at this year's muster, Pat Visconti spoke and said the reason he's still alive is because of coming to Victoria.
I get texts all the time. Sometimes it's a plea to come back, but they'll say, you saved my life, you know. I mean,
amen.
And there's multiple of those. And we lost a very good veteran. Not one of these guys, a very good veteran, as y'all are well aware, last week, and Bob Constantine. And Bob had a table, you know, and he was really looking forward to coming back. And that was a terrible blow. What a great guy he was.
Absolutely.
Let's get back to the details of the Beach Boys, because I think we missed a few things. We know it's out of Nez. When is it? What time?
Okay, June 5th, Friday night, a week from tomorrow, right?
Yes,
June
sir.
5th. Doors open 5:30. Music starts at 6 at the Inez Community Center.
$50 a couple, $30 for a single.
Yes, and if you have a table, and I'll have a few more, but we're gonna pretty much be set up this weekend. You'll get a charcuterie box at your table, not a full-blown meal. Because once you're dancing, I can't eat a big meal and dance. I dance at the last one.
Right.
Enough to snack on.
Hey, Cody, he skipped dinner last night just to make it up the stairs this morning.
Well, those are a lot of stairs.
Barely work.
That's why he's going to breakfast when he leaves here.
Yeah.
We need a zip line to go down. That's
Right.
Yeah.
Right out the door and onto Constitution Street.
Just put you on Cody's back.
So go to
Bear rides.
Call me. I'll come bring you some tickets, or you can go online. The best thing, go online and pay by whatever it be. What do we have?
Credit
Cody?
card. It takes all kinds
How
of
much is a table? Got somebody asking.
$500
There
for
you go,
8
Melissa.
people.
You're on the hook now.
However, if you were at muster, like y'all were, it's $400. In fact, if you call me, or you can even lie about it and say I was at muster, I'll do it for $400.
We find out later there were 37,000 people at muster.
Yeah.
Like Nolan Ryan's 7th no-hitter, there were 95,000 people
And
there.
we're not hurting for tables. Like I said, my girls say, hey, we got enough. No, They're not marketing. I'm marketing never enough. And we'll have a little auction, pretty cute little thing. I never know what I'm going to have.
No pressure.
No
Nobody
All
gets
right.
No
So
pressure.
Melissa Hanson basically just committed herself to a table.
But listen,
for
it's just gonna
400.
be a
Don't
blast.
mention the Wade and Carter show, Melissa. He'll charge you
that'll
$6.
make it 6.
Yeah, I hear you.
Ron, 4 days after the Beach Boys tribute band, we have the Generals.
We have the
game.
Generals Warriors weekend at the Generals. That's a good point.
That's
Great.
on the 9th.
That's on the 9th.
What do we need to know about
It's good
that?
math.
The
close.
players, the Generals, will be wearing special jerseys sponsored by the Sheriffs, of course, and they'll be auctioned off before the game and before the mosquitoes set in. I'm sure they're going to have it sprayed down.
They'll have
good. It's
sprayed
gonna be
by
good.
then, yeah.
And it's always a great night, and you can buy a Victoria Generals jersey with a Warriors Weekend logo. It's always a very popular thing. I think we're going to start that about I'd be there at 6:00. I'll tell everybody. And it's a great night. I'm glad
It's always a great night. I've
is.
seen those jerseys hanging places. People get them, and yeah.
I think Rena's got about 10 of them. She usually gives them back to the players' families, but it's just it's a great night. And then one more quick announcement.
Yes, sir.
August the 29th.
Yes, sir.
And
He's putting it on our website as we speak.
I don't understand this phenomena, but the Spasmatics will have them at the community center. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But people just love those guys. I mean,
They are fun. It's an entertaining show. I would tell you that if you're trying to decide what to do, the Beach
Go to
Boys
both.
tribute band is infinitely better from a musical standpoint.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just so much. You'll be like, wow.
Not if you don't like the Beach Boys. If you're a fan of
Well,
80s music, you'll like the Spasmatics.
If you just like harmony and a well done performance, you will appreciate the
I
Beach
mean,
Boys.
they sound so much like them. They're just unreal. And you know, you're going to have a good time. I can't guarantee a lot of things in life, but I'll guarantee that.
Yeah, you'll
So,
have a good time. Cody, we're going to let Ron scoot, and while we do, you're going to get up and help him down the stairs.
Pretty
Just
sure
throw
my-
him over your ample shoulder and take him down.
Pretty sure my scooting days are over, but
Well, we
falling
appreciate
not.
you.
I still got falling in me.
Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Yes,
y'all. See
you
y'all
bet,
weekend
brother.
Friday.
Thank you, Ron.
We'll see you there.
Yep, we'll see you there.
Paravita Wellness inviting you to get in and get healthy, Ron Koshin. Paravita Wellness for your next gluten-free, chemical-free, preservative-free meal.
Keto meal, yep.
Keto
Whatever you
meals.
need.
Fantastic things. Brand us. You heard Ron mention that Commander Cody has done yeoman's work on his website. Check out warriorsweekend.com, I would imagine.
.org.
.org, okay, O-R-G. Check out Cody's work. You'll enjoy it. Real quick shout out again to Deerland Feed. If you'll go by and buy some bifin and put it in your pump-up sprayer, they've got little ampules. I like that word, ampules.
I know you do.
Makes me think of The Rock. Losers brag about giving their best. If you'll grab one of those ampules and put a gallon of water in it and go out and spray it on your hedge, mosquitoes avoid the sun because they dehydrate. They get under the leaves of your hedge plants. That's where they hang out. Just go spray your hedges with bifin, not Roundup, bifin.
Yeah.
Bifin, and the mosquitoes will die. Little known fact. In general, mosquitoes are not migratory. If you can kill 90% of the mosquitoes in your yard, you won't have a mosquito problem. Just a fact.
You might want to get 2 ampules.
2 ampules.
That way you can spray the grass too. If you haven't mowed your lawn, mow it. That helps.
The other
too.
option
They like
is
to hide that, too.
napalm.
Well,
And that's
there you
not
go.
really what you want to do.
No, I think they have that at Deerland Feed as well.
Probably.
What do you make of the DOJ now investigating E. Jean Carroll, saying that she may have committed perjury
She might
when
have
testifying
lied?
in her civil lawsuits against the president?
Did anybody really believe? I mean, any of you, I'm not saying is it possible. Did any of you really believe that Donald Trump, at the height of his New York popularity, he had saved an ice rink, he had done things in Central Park, he was a certainly 100+ millionaire at that time. Do you really believe that he dragged a woman into a Bergdorf's change room in the middle of the day, somehow, according to her records, sexually molested her against her will, and that this woman literally waited 30 years to come forward about it. I just don't believe it. I never believed it. I always thought she was being a money grubber. Now, did she maybe have a relationship with Donald? Did she maybe regret being a little slutty in a dressing room? But the idea that he grabbed her somehow, and she said, oh, he was up on me. Y'all didn't go in there. I mean, I get it. No means no. This is never a popular conversation to have because it makes me look sexist, misogynistic, anti-women's rights. I'm against people weaponizing the court system for publicity. Oh, she just happened to have a book coming out.
I mean, so much of this stuff was, the conversation with, that was, oh, when you're rich and famous, you can grab them by the, right?
And
all this stuff was just saved for a certain point in time. It almost makes no sense.
And I'm not saying this is good or bad. Well, it's bad. But Donald Trump was simply having salacious locker room talk in private.
I thought it was private.
Right. Well, and it was in private until 30 years later, somebody decided to turn on him. And he, according to court records now, somewhat flippantly said, look, man, if you've got enough money, you can just walk up and grab him by the EE. You can do that. You know what's sad? He's right. He's telling you the truth. Then. You could. You could now. It just might take an extra comma. In her 2022 videotaped deposition, E. Jean Carroll told then Trump attorney Alina Habba, there's that sexist Donald Trump doesn't like women with his female attorney. She said no one else was paying for her legal fees. She basically based part of her case on her selflessness.
Yeah, and that
to come forward. I'm doing this on my own. Turns out she got money from a nonprofit called Hoffman. She conspired to conceal the truth for nearly 6 months. They're going to get her. What'd she get?
What's it going to do?
A couple of $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, Trump has appealed the $5 million case and pledged to do the same with the defamation case in which he was, found liable for $83 million, but we'll see what happens there.
The whole thing's dumb. And this is when they say, oh, Donald Trump, he's been convicted of 37 felonies. The reason that's never happened to Joe Biden or Barack Obama is because the Republicans don't operate in that vindictive manner.
Well, and they've hit enough money, they can't find their money.
Right. Barack Obama's getting more outspoken as he tries to peddle influence, just exact opposite of George W. Bush, who simply tries to find a good sushi bar.
President, meanwhile, had his annual physical this week and said everything was perfect.
I'm sure he was 6'3", 200, 36-inch waist.
I mean, he's 79 years old. I guess it would be as perfect as any 79-year-old's physical could be. But I mean, the guy, let's be honest, he's the exact opposite of Joe Biden.
100%.
Joe Biden was in the basement of the White House, hidden away by 3:00 every afternoon.
Napping. Donald Trump literally operates on 4 hours of sleep.
Still flying around the world, getting stuff done. Doesn't need a photo op on a bike to make it seem like he's, active and alive.
They tried to make, and every time you saw Joe, he would break into a little pro trot, like he's just trying to look energetic and youthful.
And then he'd trip and destroy a stage that he was on giving a speech to.
At one of the academies, he fell and the guys chuckled.
But I do find it odd that he missed his son's wedding.
Trump?
Yeah.
You think he was sick?
No, I think there was something. I think there's something more there. I don't think he was busy saving the world and running the country.
What would it be? Well, I mean,
him and his son had a falling out.
Donald Trump Jr.?
Yeah. Why would you miss your son's wedding? The guy's been president and going on 6 years.
Right.
If you include the first 4. And
Cody, see why Donald Trump missed his son's wedding. Can you do that?
he was too busy.
Yeah, well,
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a little.
And that might be what they said, but I mean, come on. I don't know a parent anywhere who has a good relationship with their kids that would miss their wedding.
Solid. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right there, Andrew Everest says maybe a security issue is why he missed. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like Andrew says with E.G. Carroll, it's the same case that New York created a law so she could sue 30 years later. They avoided any statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Half the witnesses, if there were any, are dead.
What do you make of this? CNN reporting that the U.S. and Iran traded some strikes earlier today.
Apparently, there were some missile and drone sites that the U.S. deemed a hazard to the ceasefire. So they blew them up. Interesting to me that the U.S. seems to be able to operate outside of the ceasefire and still call it a ceasefire. I mean, I'm not saying it's hypocritical, but because if they decided tomorrow to just obliterate Iran, I'm all for it. But it is interesting. That's like, there'll be no more. Remember, Donald Trump came unwound at Benny Netanyahu when they had a ceasefire and Israel carried out a couple of missions. So now, 2 weeks into a ceasefire, the president's bombing things.
Yeah. Iran says they targeted an American air base in Kuwait.
They shouldn't have done
in response to the strikes by the U.S. yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, in which they attacked a couple of IRGC naval vessels. These things are John boats,
bass boats with a machine gun on the front. Where the seat goes, where Bill Dance sits, they put a 30 caliber machine gun.
There's all kinds of different ideas about Trump missing the wedding, but none.
Can you give us the AI version?
What's the consensus?
I haven't found a consensus. Some talking about if he wasn't in America, he could get shot. Some talking about because he's been tried for molesting somebody that the Bohemian bars wouldn't let him in. And all of that has been found to be untrue.
JP Hull says it was his third wedding, right? I mean, JP, you're right. I mean, I might even send a proxy to my third wedding. You know, if I ever have a third wedding, let me know when that's done. I've got work to do.
Yes, somebody stand in for you.
For an extra $50, you can have the honeymoon.
Like Fonzie did for Richie Cunningham on Happy Days?
Hey. Good morning, Renee Medding. Let's discuss a protocol.
Okay.
So the other day, it was Renee's birthday.
Yep.
And I went on Facebook and I said, happy birthday, Renee. And she took the time to send back, thank you very much. Can we all agree that at the end of the day, it's arduous to have to go and acknowledge every birthday wish you get on Facebook? Doesn't mean that you didn't read them all. And I struggle to make sure that I don't miss anybody. But can we develop a response like at the end of that week when people finally go, oh, so it was your birthday, happy belated? Can we is there a post that we could put out that would kind of cover all that?
Already exists.
What is it? Tell me how that works.
I don't know because I don't do it.
Just post it at the end of the thread.
And tag everybody. I think you can tag everybody. I don't know. But I don't know. I find that the cop-out way. If 100 people walked up to you in the street and wished you a happy birthday, do you not say anything to and then gather all?
Well, to the last 99, I go ditto.
Yeah, that's my point. I don't know.
I'm with you. Okay, that's fair.
I just find it a little disingenuous.
And make a note, Cody. Ash is all about being genuine.
Genuine.
Thank you.
3 days, 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, 4 days till the official start of hurricane season, and just check the official Atlantic hurricane forecast. No activity expected in the next 7 days.
There you go. Scott Tomko says, Cody, can you reply to all my birthday wishes?
I'm going to do. There might be the cottage industry. Might be
in September when my birthday rolls around. I'm going to go in and type at Cody Bauman on every
Just type
birthday
it
wish.
once. I'll see it.
Wow.
I don't need all 100 of those alerts
Why not?
because by that point he could have just said thank you and I didn't have to do it.
Yeah. You know, I have that happen sometimes at work. I'll go, hey, can you forward this and copy me? And I'll get like 3 or 4 emails back and forth about, hey, I'm really busy today. And they'll give me like this whole diatribe of what they're doing. I'm like, in the amount of time it took you to tell me why you can't do it, you could have done it 3 times. Interesting.
This is a story that's kind of
Scary.
but has enthralled you a little bit. A bunch of Laotians decided to go into a cave looking for gold, and then floodwaters hit and they got trapped in the cave. Rescuers reached them.
It's giving me the
They can't get
chills
them out
just
yet.
looking at the video.
But 5 of the 7 they say were found alive. I'm not sure what happened to the other 2, whether they're still missing or whether they're deceased.
In a deep underground chamber.
But there is a little bit of space for air.
I don't understand why. You see the guy there, the searcher. He's got on clothes and a hat, a helmet with a light, and they do have room to stand up. And
It looks like they drilled down to these guys.
I don't understand why it's a high stakes extraction. The people that went in could obviously get out. Can't you just take a buddy with you? They're not wearing oxygen tanks.
Well, they got in when there was no floodwaters, and then all of a sudden it flooded.
Just gave me a terrible feeling. Like, can you imagine being trapped underground and just praying that
Been there for
somebody
more
comes
than a
and
week.
finds you?
I mean, you got nothing to eat.
But hey, that's not a bad diet.
You know, we're missing 2 people. That's all I'm saying.
There's still 2 missing.
Maybe they were hungry.
Ooh,
Or
the
you-
Dahmer Laotian
party.
Gold Party. A new film by Brandos.
Yeah.
It's a short film.
Wouldn't take long.
Right. An unhappy meal.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep. Finnish diver Mikko Pasi, who's part of the operation, toasted the team's amazing work on Instagram.
Of course he did.
He cautioned the high stakes extraction ain't going to be easy. I think the X factor here is, what if it rains again?
Wow, that's part of the problem because I think they're in that season.
Somebody get me Rex Kramer.
Apparently, the 2 missing folks were not part of the 5 that went in first. They went in after the fact looking for the gold deposits. So,
Man,
I don't know. This just
Even more likely because they didn't know him.
yeah, right.
I don't know. It's just that one. It's interesting.
Go back to Renee. She made a nice comment, I think. She says, I tried to thank everyone. Some might have slipped through, but I always try to tell people happy birthday in case no one has wished them a great being born day. I agree 100%. Linda Chris says, I say thank you to all separately and personally. I think that is best and really shows that you do care that someone thinks about you. I do too. I was trying to fill the hour.
We got lots of stuff. Though.
Go. Give me a what do you make
well, I'm
of?
waiting for this to repopulate, but I thought this because a type of deadly cholesterol, lipoprotein A, apparently can't be detected by routine tests.
Right.
And apparently existing drugs, diet, or exercise does not affect it at all.
Correct.
But there is a new experimental drug. And I know for those of you that don't want this, but this one shows promise. It's an injection. And for those who have abnormally high levels of LPA,
Right.
this injection can reduce those levels by over 50%.
And here's
in their tests.
Here's what you need to know, because I've actually had my lipoprotein tested. If let's say that you have they want your cholesterol cumulative to be below 200. Let's say yours is 340. You could have 340, 400. And if you have no or very little lipoprotein, it seems to be that lipoprotein which cannot be treated as of yet until this is approved. It seems to be the grease that goes with the flour to make the biscuit. So you could be somebody
That's a pretty good analogy, actually.
Right. You could be high lipoprotein and cholesterol of 180 and still end up with clogged arteries. Or you can have 400 cholesterol and no lipoprotein and everything just flows like it should. That's been the discovery, the understanding of lipoprotein is what led physicians to understand why some people have ridiculously high cholesterol and no problems.
Yeah.
So the scary thing is, and I recommend you get it tested at your next physical, it's maybe $15 to have it tested separately. Mine happened to be ridiculously low, but TLAD has me on a program along with Parvita where my cholesterol last year was 190 total.
So you're saying this is Dawn's fault?
No, it's Dawn's blessing that I don't have to worry about it at any rate. I'm going to have a stroke anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But hey, it's certainly something to watch. Was it LP1A, LPA?
Yep.
Definitely get your doctor to look at it.
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
Stephanie Carney says Bill Gates.
Yeah.
More money. Oh, shows promise.
Sure.
I mean, more Americans are on cholesterol drugs than almost anything. Silver Lake Ranch acquired by the state, 54,000 acres, becomes the second largest state park.
Great place to build a nuclear power plant on the Silver Lake to power all the AI facilities.
Only Big Bend Ranch State Park is bigger in the state of Texas, and that one 6 times as large, over 300,000 acres. The Moody Foundation donated about 90% of the money to the state to buy the Silver Lake Ranch. So thanks to the Moody Foundation. The other $12 million came from the Centennial Parks Conservation Fund.
So it was $100 million purchase, roughly $100 million purchase.
Yep. So there you go. 30-acre spring-fed lake there, and it straddles Edwards and Kinney counties.
Nice.
How long before the state starts selling off that 30 acres of water?
Real fast.
Yep. By the way, it's done by a park conservation fund and sales taxes on sporting goods.
Yep. We missed this one yesterday. Beau French defeated incumbent Railroad Commissioner Jim Wright in the primary on Tuesday. This one was weird because Beau French ran on everything but what he was going to do to keep an eye on the oil and gas
industry.
All
about deporting illegals, supporting ICE. He's pro
H-1B visas.
I mean, I need somebody to tell me how we're going to keep the railroad safe and how we're going to transport petroleum.
And what are we going to do to clean up crappy water wells or destroyed waterways in West Texas, and to clean up old wells that are sitting there leaching hazardous material into the water in West Texas. Not a railroad. I mean, what's he going to do? Keep illegals from jumping onto a boxcar and dying? It makes no sense what he campaigned on. But then again, as I've always said, uneducated voters are more dangerous than people just. I don't know.
I want to read both of those.
Okay.
Fort Hood, an Article 32 hearing opened Tuesday for former Army OBGYN Blaine McGraw, who faces 273 counts, including secretly recording patients during exams. A hearing officer will recommend whether to proceed to court-martial. I'm going to bet they do. I'm going to bet that they go to court-martial. 273 counts? Wow.
Between 2019 and 2026, KXAN reporting this morning, Army officials testified that apparently he left patients exposed before, during, and after their exams.
Yeah. Testimony also revealed he allegedly, they've got video, brought patients in after hours without documentation or a chaperone, and sometimes asked spouses not to attend appointments or to leave during exams. Yeah, that's probably a red flag.
Remained in the room while patients undressed, at times even allegedly assisted them in removing clothing.
Yeah, this guy's sick. This guy needs to be ferreted out of our
He
military.
just wanted to be helpful.
The one in Austin says body camera footage shows that a DPS trooper used an encrypted messaging app to coordinate with federal immigration agents during a traffic stop that led to an Austin ISD student's arrest and detention. Good for them. Good for
Is
them.
there a reason they can't?
I don't know why. The 18-year-old varsity soccer player was pulled over.
Oh,
You
of
know
course,
he's
yeah.
foreign. Alleged expired, blah, 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 blah.
Vehicle registration,
Yeah.
and was detained at the Karnes County Immigration and Processing before being released on a federal court order last week.
There you go. Remind me tomorrow, I'll tell you about the United States Senator who got blasted in the face with tear gas and how the left has clung to this and gone overboard about it. We'll talk to you guys mañana. Have a safe day. Be careful on the roads. Know that we love you. And thank you, Atzenhofer, for being our studio sponsor.
And thank you, First State Bank. Astros won last night.
4-3, Astros win. Astros win. Jordan Alvarez hits 2 home runs. Astros win. You be a winner. Get into the First State Bank of Louise, the friendliest bank anywhere. Do it today. Free checking, free savings.
Yep. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.